Alrighty, folks, we have a treat for you, and actually a topic we have never discussed on this channel, which is pretty hard to do given we've got 15,000 videos you can scroll through. We're going to talk to a Skool Games winner. He won for November 2024. He just got his treat of a day and a half in Vegas with Alex Hormozi and team and other Skool winners. I want to talk about that. Michael, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, Mike, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's kind of a very different topic than the first go around. So
yeah, exactly. Well, Michael, do us a favor. Tell us about your Skool community. Tell us about the numbers that helped you kind of win for November. And then I want to dig into the day and a half and see if there's any lessons that we can impart for others.
Yeah, of course. So just to start off, like Skool is just a platform. People are like, if you've ever paid for like education or mentorship, a lot of the times they send you to a course that's on Kajabi or I don't know, whatever, the variety of different platforms out there. And Skool is another one of those platforms, basically helping build communities, share, create courses, share them. And there's a variety of ways to offer them free, monetize some. And I have both a free community and a community that's monetized. And so my Skool journey, basically, I created a free Skool community several months ago, or let's say March of 2024, when I first learned about Skool. If you haven't yet, you might start getting hit by the ads with Hormozi and doing all the funny, whatever things that he does. And Hormozi, the reason why I spent the day with Hormozi for winning the Skool games was because he is either he bought into it or something, but he does all the freaking marketing for it, like nonstop marketing for Skool. And so my free community is called Wealth Through Real Estate. I provide, people just ask me a bunch of questions all the time. So I've been investing in real estate for several years now, own around 60 or a little over 60 properties. And people ask me questions about how to get started in real estate investing, how to analyze deals, just a variety of different topics that I felt like I was answering questions over and over again. And one of my mentors, Pace Morby, was like, hey, you got to be more efficient with your time. The reason why you're so busy is because you just you're doing the same thing basically over and over again. So I had the idea of just paying $99 to create a Skool account and provide all these trainings on there, free calculator for people to analyze deals. And I could just send people over, whenever they needed something. Like they need something, go there. If you have questions, awesome. Ask your questions there. Weekly, I answer them live, but at least it's all group. I still provide a lot of value, but it's all ideally in a group setting. We've got that to over 800 members right now with very little marketing. That's the crazy part. I'm not a marketer. I post a little bit on socials. I just try to provide people value. Been doing that since I first started learning about real estate. Actually, when I first got into your book about, it's pretty straightforward, like the concepts of real estate investing, at least with my engineering mind. I don't even think it's anything overly complicated, but you got to do the work. You got to know your numbers. You got to know the averages in the markets you're investing. Yep. You got to be consistent and take consistent action over time. So it's like, cool. How can I've been trying to help people for years with the deal analysis and things like that. And so I'm glad it funneled into this free community because it's a more efficient way of helping a lot of people. And then from that point, I think of my free community as primarily catered towards beginner investors, 0 to 1, working on your first deal, someone who maybe doesn't have the capital or experience, but they want to be a buy and hold investor so they can focus on bird dogging, finding deals for end buyers and getting paid for that or getting equity, capital connecting, helping raise capital for end buyers and then generating, making some money off of that or even getting some equity or like lenders. And that's kind of the free community. And then my paid community is super investors. When I decided, I had a one-on-one with Pace and I told him, I think I'm going to retire in August. I quit my W-2, had my very healthy real estate portfolio. And he said, no, don't quit. You have all this momentum on your side. Why would you just stop? Because I'm not one of those people who just needs more. I don't have anything. I don't care about cars and watches. I don't care about anything overly fancy or materialistic. And I have more than enough at this point. But he said, but now when you do this, now when you help people, keep helping people, but you got to start valuing your time, essentially. And some of the best way to value your time is not everyone can exchange value in both directions, right? It's I'm providing a lot of value. Not everyone can do that. So then create a community, create something in which there is some monetization involved with it, but there are also, it's an audience of people that I want to work with. And for me, that's real estate investors who maybe they only have a property or two, maybe they've never raised capital, but they're looking to level up with some more advanced tactics like leveraging creative financing, other people's money, being very intentional about the deals that they buy so they understand the value of deal analysis, not gut feelings and things like that. So I've created my own super investors community for that, just really focusing on building a solid foundation, path to financial freedom, and just kind of giving them the step-by-step blueprint. In my opinion, the most efficient way I've been able to grow my real estate portfolio, because it's been kind of two phases, like the house hacking, and I teach that like for free basically, but then this buying creative finance deals, raising the money to get them, and then focusing primarily on operations and management until you can, we brought that in-house now. So it's just like getting deals that way is kind of the easiest, most systematic way to do it and still get a solid amount of real estate, even with interest rates as wonky as they are. So
Nice.
That's kind of what I focus on in the paid community.
Very, very cool. Well, let's break down the day and a half, because again, if you guys don't know, Alex Hormozi in the Skool community, they do monthly winners. I think it's the top 10, or is it the top 20?
So it's the top 10 of a month. So of all the
10 of a
communities on the
month.
platform, top 10 for the month wins, and they've changed that since the end of December. So
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about what you got. So one of the presents, or I don't know, I guess awards, I guess I should say awards for winning the Skool game for November of 2024 is you got a trip out to Vegas to spend a day and a half with Hormozi and his team. I'm curious how that was, right? You're at their facility, acquisition.com, I'm suspecting, and you get some direct time with Alex Hormozi. You're around 9 other winners.
Right.
And what was the range for the winners? Because I've seen some past YouTube videos where like the low end's like 20 grand a month and the high end could be as high as 50 grand. What was your?
Mine was the most competitive one ever. So of course,
of
the
course,
low end was $40,000.
That was the low.
The low, and the high end was $315,000 with someone else over 200 or close to it. It was literally insane. I was not trying to compete for first. I was not. You and I have talked about this before, that my goal is not to create the biggest community. Like I'm not trying to be this huge mentor to hundreds or thousands of people. I'm really focused on providing as much value as I can to the people in my community. So once I felt I got that comfortable number around 70 people, that's where I basically stopped. And fortunately, I was still able to squeak in 9th place because I was much higher until everyone else did their final push. I didn't really understand how much there was a lot of insights talking to the other Skool games winners, just how much money they spent on ads, affiliates, and all these things. And I'm like, man, I didn't do anything like that. I was just
next level.
I'm like, whoa, you guys are actually like marketing and doing all this crazy stuff, which makes sense because there's a lot of cool prizes on the line. But for me, it was just providing a bunch of value for years, people seeing me do the work for years, me saying, hey, now I'm helping you recreate my exact business model, all the tools, systems, and resources that I have, plus a really solid education. We'll say a course, right? And just opening up access to that. I did 3 webinars basically explaining the different parts of my investing, financial freedom as a whole, then consistently generating deals, then deal analysis. Well, I guess 4, and then 1 more focused on capital raising. So kind of just the 4 kind of key pillars of my investing journey and kind of the value that I provide. And between that and a few one-on-ones, we got the members in the community to win the Skool games. So
that's awesome, man. So I'm just curious. Do you remember what community did? Because 300 grand a month, that's $3.6 million a year. That's crazy.
Yeah. So everyone, this is a perfect comparison to real estate investing. So that's how much they got in revenue. I probably made more profit than they did because they spend so much money on ads and they paid 100% affiliate commission, which would work. So like the majority of the income they generated that first month was gone. For them, because they were first place, they actually got either a Cybertruck or $100,000. So, then they made money that way. And they had such a massive churn rate. Like so many people left because what I've learned is I'm glad Skool changed the way they do their competition. It's not a 1-month thing because a lot of people spend a lot of ad dollars selling people a dream, selling them I've got this AI tool that's going to literally, you don't even get out of bed and you're going to become a billionaire or whatever, like it's easy to sell a dream for 1 month and then provide a bunch of guarantees and all that for the sake of the competition. But then when you lose 80% of your members plus, that really shows like, okay, you haven't focused on delivery, where mine was the opposite. Like, I don't need to do coaching. I'm doing it as a value add to other people. It's also beneficial for myself, right? And it helps me. It's one of my favorite things is helping people on their path to financial freedom. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And so I don't know.
So let's talk about Hormozi. So again, I've never been lucky enough to be in a room with him, never seen him, only seen his videos. How is Hormozi in person, cameras off? How is he as a guy?
Yeah. So I don't know if cameras were ever off, but to me, one of the bigger takeaways is he's the same person. Like, he seems like the same person. Like, the level of, imagine like probably meeting David Goggins. It's like kind of like that, but in the Hormozi package of like, he genuinely seems like someone who loves to work all the time. When you ask him things, he gets extremely excited about business topics. I was really focused on more of people were very focused on like, how to drive more revenue and this and that. I didn't really, for me, that's not why I was there. Like, it was cool just to hang out with him, hang out with other people, but asking him about him and Layla, kind of their relationship in the sense of like, what are some really cool things that they do? Like, what are some fun dates that they go on? And just hearing how for him too, it's kind of like this, like, I can't think the way that he does. Like, I just don't think the way that he does, because I was very committed to this goal of financial freedom so then I can have total control of my time and not have to work crazy hours, between doing that while in the military and the government and real estate. I was already working crazy hours for a day. My goal was not to have to do that, especially with an 8-month-old, but like, him and Layla literally just like work so much. And then they spend some downtime together, but it's just like work. And they love it. Like, they absolutely love it. It drives them. And the scorecard of money is just this, it's like a game in a sense, like for me, there's an end goal in my game. It's not like I need to grow it infinitely. I just don't, I don't care for that.
Now, so obviously you had time with Alex. Did you also have some time with Layla?
So she was not there, but, that would have been cool. That would have been very cool, because she does have a very different personality, or at least online than he does. I mean, similar concepts, very different in the way that they think, like more like visionary and operator, both high level. But the thing, like the funny part is hanging out with Alex and the takeaways, like outside of like the marketing and ad stuff, which isn't going to benefit probably anyone in this audience. Like, you're not overly focused on marketing and selling courses or whatever. I don't advise the majority of people to do it. It's actually not probably a good use of your time. Better off building your wealth, your financial freedom through actually investing in assets. And the takeaways that I took away were pretty obvious things. They're not things you haven't already heard on this channel. And from, you probably already know them anyway. Just like, keep things simple, have a very clear goal, be intentional about achieving that goal. Things that are like, audit your time. If they're not benefiting you towards that goal, then it's literally taken away from that goal, basically. Like, you only have so much time. So if you're not doing the things that are driving you towards your goal, then you're doing things that are preventing you from achieving your goal. So then understand what that is, right? That's why I focus. The number one pillar is financial freedom and like what that means to the individual. Some people that's 5,000, some people that's 100,000 a month. So like, I can't say what financial freedom is for everyone. They define that for themselves. But once you have that clear goal, cool. Like, how do you get there now, right? Have this process. Don't overcomplicate it. And just like, you're going to have to work. Like, consistency is the number one compounder, like anywhere. There's nothing better for your goals, achieving your goals, than being consistent over a long enough period of time. And it just gets better. Like, real estate investing is one of those things. And that was that revelation what Pace was talking to me about. Like, I've literally compounded for years. Why would I stop the momentum now? Now I can do things at a higher level, influence, and then earn income, not for myself at this point, but like for the causes that I care about. And I've been able to shift into a lot of like philanthropy and things of that nature that if I stopped, I would not have, we basically talked about like when I hosted a meetup in San Diego and funded the whole event, we had a few sponsors, but funded, like, it was my property, cleaning fees and all that. And then we were able to get, close to 100 people donate hundreds, like over 100 pounds of food, 10 plus boxes of food, or 10 plus boxes of toys. Like, being able to influence and have events like that is more productive than me just going to the beach and doing a cleanup. Like, although I care about that, there's just a bigger impact. So how can I think more of that? Like, and having the influence and keep succeeding in the thing that you're doing well in really helps like have that larger impact. So
I love that. I love
yeah.
that. So that was what you got from Hormozi. I'm wondering what you may have taken away from the other 9 winners, because it's really interesting. Sometimes, you know, you take away good things and bad things. You know, some of the things you might have taken away is, wow, I am never going to do that. Like, you know, those kinds of things. So I'm curious, when you're talking networking, eating with the other 9 winners, what were kind of the things that you noted, good or bad, or, you know, you took away from them?
One of the things that I really, really enjoyed was this conversation that we had. And it's an unfortunate one for a lot of people listening to this, but like any mentorship, any coaching community, on average, you're going to have a success rate of about 15 to 20% of your members on the high end will actually achieve success the way that you define it as the one like coaching or mentoring, because that was something that was very much on my mind and something that I talked to a few others. So the people that I really resonated with had the same mindset. How can we not focus on growth of members, but how can we focus on delivery and success? And one of the big things from Alex was you can't put your definition of success on others, because for them, sometimes it just means being like, for me, it's like, I don't know why you would pay me money to learn about real estate investing to be financially free, but then you're not doing the actions that are necessary. You're not looking at leads, analyzing them, making offers. Like, you're not doing those things. Well, how could that be successful if that's what I'm really trying to help you out to do? But then he gave this example of a woman back in his gym days, and she would come in regularly. And after a few months, he said, I think you're gaining weight. Like, what is going on here? Right. That would be, to most people, that would not be a successful gym experience for a quarter or 6 months. She said, like, her definition is like, my friends are here. I get to get out of the house for a few hours. I get to hang out with people. I like the vibe in here. Like, and it's like, all right, cool. If she's paying and she's happy.
If you're happy, I'm happy.
Exactly. So you redefine success for us. Like, if people are happy, that is success. You can't define success based on your own goals, but then hearing the stat of like 15 to 20% will really be those high achievers or like really successful. That also makes a lot of sense, because I'm part of multiple mentorships and communities. And I do understand that, you know, that there's like this top 20% that really dominate. And then a lot of the others are kind of just doing different things. They're learning and all that, but maybe they're on their own pace, which is awesome too. Like, you're on your own journey, which is great. It's just, I now in this role cannot overly push people. As long as they're happy, I can just provide them the tools and resources, but it's up to them. So people who are more focused on that, delivery and success of their community, as opposed to growth, I resonated a lot more with those people. I also noticed a lot of people did a lot of short-sighted things for overall brand. Like, they basically destroy their reputation for the sake of winning the Skool games and just getting people in, and then never focusing on fulfillment on the back end, which was was very anti my goal, because I care about my reputation. I care about helping people. I care about people knowing that if they come to me for help, that I will be able to help them, or at least try to set them up in a more positive direction than when they started. And for people to just do it for this competition, whether you meet Hormozi, whether you win 100, like, to me, that's so ridiculous. I can't imagine like the integrity or the lack of integrity needed to do that for a competition, like literally take people's money.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it happens all day, every day. I'm just not someone who's, you know, although I'm in a variety of mentorships and courses, I'm very intentional about who I work with.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I mean, that's I'm curious, of the other 9 winners, what do you think the average or median age was?
So definitely, there was a range of like 19 years old to probably like mid 40s. So no one was over their 40s that I could tell, unless, you know, they look good for their age.
That's just your guess. Yeah.
And there was people from Canada, Australia. That was like international winners.
Oh, nice.
That was something. And it's funny the types of communities that win. Like, there's always like some that are business and technology, but there was this one, they like teach barbers like 3 tiers of, they teach you how to cut your hair. Then they teach you how to like drive more leads into your business. And then if you're a business owner, they teach you how to like really market and all that. So I'm like, crazy. Like, look at that one that won. This other one was, they have this crypto channel of like 300,000+ people. And now they have this behind the paywall community where they can all interact and talk with each other and have courses. So just like the variety of different, you know, service-based, business-based, technology, all that kind of stuff. It was, and then there's always like health ones sprinkled in. Usually someone does like a 30-day health challenge or, you know, 60-day health challenge, and they get people in to join that month. So the variety of topics that are being educated on, and then the variety of the demographics of the leaders, from all ranges, but like 18 to 45, 18 to 50 probably is the majority.
Okay.
Probably closer to like 25 to 40 is probably more of the range.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Which, yeah, it makes sense, but it's also kind of funny because it's like, how much do you really accomplish those first couple of years that then you're able to translate and help other people? But, same could be said for me, since I didn't buy my first real estate property until May of 2020. And here I am. So, it's only been 5 years of my learning journey, but my like actually owning assets journey. I had plenty of years of learning and analyzing and not being that person that didn't make that offer, but was analyzing deals all day. So I get it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The other thing I'm curious about with the Skool winners is it sounds like if you were to think about how many hours you spend interacting with Skool in a month, I'm going to guess it's under 40 a month.
Yes.
I'm going to guess some of these other guys, it's almost a full-time job and they probably have teams, right? You're probably a solo manager where these other folks have 2, 3, 4, 5 employees. Is that a right assumption?
Yes, because a lot of people have this, their funnel, their plan for growing Skool is basically free community. Then you have someone who sets them like for a call. Then you have someone who closes them and then onboards them into a new community. For me, it's like very different. I use the free community as anyone who needs trainings and tools and resources, here you go. And then once a week, you're going to know when I'm doing my live Q&As. It's the same time, but it's like, that's the announcement that you get. Same for the paid community. It's like, I've got the course, like I'm not trying to be the best community as opposed to like the best course and mentorship. And like, here's the step-by-step, here's the very transparent process and blueprint. And then everything I'm trying to do is in a group setting. So we do like the live Q&A office hours. And then we do a separate super investors mastermind call weekly, where it's either me training on a topic, bringing in a high-level guest speaker, doing deal analysis, leaving it just as like another Q&A, like a private Q&A for the community. I have a few guest speakers that come in, people in the real estate space in my world of influence who are really successful on very specific topics. Like I focus a lot on deal analysis, and then like I love co-living as the rent by the room model. It's something I've shifted a lot of my properties towards and a lot of my new acquisitions towards. So bringing in people, since it's newer, bringing in people who are more familiar with the topic to also provide their separate insights. I don't want people to hear what I say as like the sole truth. I want them to have different perspectives and different ideas, because the way I do something might be different than the way someone else does it. And I want them to weigh the pros and cons and be, critically think and see what makes the most sense for them. But my thing is trying to do as much stuff in a group setting as possible. So for example, I do one-on-ones with community members, but we have the way I decide what additional courses or topics to add, the way I decide because I don't need to coach, which is cool. Like I don't need the income because I'm a real estate investor. I take that and I reinvest a lot of it into the community. So like hiring like a community support manager that can be more hands-on with people and help them as they need to is one of the main priorities. Secondarily, I've created this database of creative finance deals. So every single creative finance deal that gets sent to me from wholesalers, whether it's email, text message, Facebook groups, whatever, my VA cleans it all up and then puts it on this nice website for the super investors, my community, to be able to, like, right now we can go look and there's 100+ deals, the majority under 4% interest rate that you can go buy for like less than 50K entry. So like having that database of creative finance deals was like one of the first things, because that then allows them to analyze deals and minimize the friction involved with like searching for these deals. There's not a lot of value of like connecting with wholesalers if it's like the same group. It's like, cool, we've already done that. My VA is already cleaning up the data, verifying they have all the information, then making it easily presentable for them. Next, I have my creative finance calculator, and it's an awesome spreadsheet, but like I'm turning that into a web app now. So it's even easier for them. With a click of a button, they'll be able to take the data from the website and then input it into the calculator, into the right fields, to once again minimize friction and be able to better analyze deals and determine like how much can they raise capital and all that stuff. So I'm constantly thinking of ways that I can reinvest to just minimize the friction of this process of like buying and holding real estate. And it's pretty simple. I mean, buy and hold real estate from wholesalers. Don't buy them at face value. Try to renegotiate them if the numbers make sense. Usually it does not mean try to reduce the wholesaler's assignment fee. You want them to work with you and help reduce the terms with the seller or agents if they're involved, if it's not a good deal, right? And it's always an option. The seller and agent can always say no. It's just, hey, I would buy this deal at these terms, right? Just like we do traditional real estate investing. I don't know why people just buy deals at face value and don't try to renegotiate things. So it's like renegotiate wholesaler deals, primarily creatively financed, leverage other people's money. Ideally, when you're starting out, you're buying deals using your own funds, or you guys are jointly splitting the costs, but you're supplementing some of the entry costs with someone else until you have very successful operations and reputation to raise the money to then buy deals outright using other people's money. And I teach a lot on private money partnerships as opposed to just private money lenders. So it's not like someone is lending me money for a 10%, 12% interest rate return. They're lending money for us to jointly own this asset. We split the cash flow. We split the ownership benefits, the debt pay down, the appreciation, the tax benefits. We split all that. They're an owner of the asset. Go stay at the property, or if we're renovating, go check it out, go record content, do all these cool things. And that's kind of the way that that has helped me scale a lot, is that I call it, and then the co-living model, the rent by the room. Main platform I use is Pad Split. So it's kind of my split method. So we're splitting ownership and we're splitting up the house to rent by the room is kind of the main thing that we're doing.
Nice.
But yeah,
I'm curious. You win the games, you go to the event. What were the 2 or 3 action items you took to improve the community, maybe make it more efficient post games, right? Because you went there obviously looking to learn. I'm curious, what are the 2 or 3 things you're going to do perhaps differently?
So one of the takeaways that was really cool to hear Hormozi here, since you don't really see him at a lot of in-person events, and he explained why, because people get kind of upset when everyone's surrounding him and there's this host, like there's this host hosting the event and then everyone's surrounding him, asking him questions. But in-person events are like, people are yearning for in-person events, like the ORAT event coming up. I wish I could go, actually. I cannot this year. I did go last year, but with an 8-month-old and just traveling, I'm like, oh, dang it. But like in-person events are like back, and they're going to be even more important moving forward. People are at a level of information overload. They probably need less information. They need more implementation, and being part of a community, ideally physically with each other at times, is very important. So I've planned at least 2 in-person masterminds for the community, just things that we're going to do together. And then because of that focus on implementation, I already have this awesome course, like really good course, but what we're going to focus on right now, February 3rd, is the start of the Zero to Hero Challenge. So quarterly, we're going to go through the entire process together, not trainings and slides. We're going to develop, or we're going to talk about the overall plan, right? Here's the goal that we're going to try to achieve. We're going to talk about we're going to create our buy box, the investing criteria we're looking for. We're going to bring in, since I know I'm doing co-living, bring in my rep from Pad Split to come in and do a training at a high level. Then I provide a separate training on like the investor perspective of co-living and why I like it so much. And then actively like analyzing deals, like just analyzing. I want people to see how many deals we look through before there's one. Like there's a bunch of deals you look at before you even decide to deep analyze one. There's a bunch of those you look at before you decide one's even worth either renegotiating or buying. I want people to see that, like the hours and hours of work. We're going to go on hyperdrive and just do it like nonstop, basically for the week, just to find a good deal and put it under contract. And then do the whole capital raising together live so people can see it. Renovate. So do all the due diligence, get the contractor quotes, get all that stuff set up with a bookkeeper, and get everything set up, all the operational stuff, diligence, close on it. If it's creative, then there's a few other post-closing requirements, insurance, insurance changeover. I was combining transfer and changeover for some reason. Insurance changeover, and renovating the property, furnishing it, and then renting it out. I want people to see it. And I've already been very adamant with the community. Like, you guys need to not just sit there and watch me. You guys need to like take these actions. If you just progress with one of these things, you really clearly define your buy box, or you really clearly are analyzing deals efficiently, or you're connecting with potential capital partners. That's the goal, is like, let's do some implementation, not just education. So that was 2 huge things he emphasized, or kind of I took away from how I can improve my community based on some insights of what he was stating. And then another thing was, I've just been really lazy with content, is what I've learned. The amount of prep work that really successful content creators and YouTubers do, like the ones in the educational space. I'm not going to be your entertainment guy. I actually went as simple as I can with the background. The lighting and all that's off right now. I'm just setting it up. But like, I just want to provide a bunch of value and education. I'm not trying to be entertaining, like naturally entertaining, sure. But like, I'm not going to do a bunch of gimmicky things and all that. It's like, I want to just help people out and I want to be efficient about it. So then the best way to do that is to actually put more time and effort into pre-planning and being very intentional about like the things that attracts attention, headlines, thumbnails, like all that good stuff. The first, like what do you say, 8 to 13 seconds, which includes the thumbnail as well, is what really gets people to watch. If I really want to help people out, I need to create content that the algorithm will pick up and then share with as many people as possible. So that was the big takeaway for me personally, was that I can't just only do live content. I feel very confident that ask me a question anytime, anywhere, whatever, I'll answer it and I'll help you out. If I don't know, I'll connect you with someone that does know. But I also understand how that's a disservice for the way content, YouTube, social media works. So I got to be a little bit more pre-planned. It was a big content takeaway from me. So I realized that me telling people to do the work for real estate investing is ironic because I'm not doing the work per se for content creation. I'm like doing the minimum work.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Michael, man, congratulations on winning. Get to spend some time with Alex. That I'm sure that was something you won't ever forget. Right. Remind us what the free community is and of course the paid community.
Yeah, so the free community is called Wealth Through Real Estate. I don't know if I can drop a comment. Maybe I can do it in the video later, but just skool.com/WTRE, I believe. I think that's what it is. If you just go to my Instagram, that's the best way for everything. So just at Michael MNAT, Michael M Nat. In my bio, there's a link tree with the free community, Wealth Through Real Estate, the paid community, Super Investors. Remember, please like filter yourself out. If you're working on your very first deal, leverage free information. There is so much awesome free information. I got my first duplex and 4-unit through Bigger Pockets podcasts and just reading books. Like it's not overly complicated. And then connecting with people like local investors, like community is a huge one. So there's a lot of information to help you get started. And then the Super Investors community, the paid community, that's if you want to start taking it to the next level. If you want to turn it into more of a business that's systematic and you can buy and hold more consistently or better deals, leveraging creative financing. But please just like filter yourself out. Don't overwhelm yourself by going to the advanced, intermediate, and advanced strategies when you still need to work on the foundations. That is the Wealth Through Real Estate community. That is all this YouTube content. I mean, Michael Super does literally, multiple videos a day. There's just so much information out there that you can learn from. And there's a lot of great content and education to help you get started. If you're looking to go more advanced, that's the Super Investors community.
Awesome. Michael, congratulations. Thanks for reaching out. Appreciate you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.